All right, crowd, I have a question for you. Do you all want to see a tiny Brooklyn kid beat the snot out of a bunch of giant grown men? You want to see him do him blindfolded? That's right, you do. You're smart people. Next up is the Super Punch-Out race with Hootey and Zallard.
All right, folks. Welcome to Blindfolded Super Punch-Out. As you can imagine, neither Zallard nor Hootey are going to be talking much because they have a lot to focus on while they do this. So, my name's Clage, and I'm here with Sinister.
I'm Sinister1. Played a Punch-Out game or two in my time.
A couple. You might be all right.
Maybe even Blindfolded, but these guys are the experts. These are the top 2 players for Super Punch-Out Blindfolded. They're going to be showing you some crazy, crazy strats.
Yeah. So before we get going here, as they prepare to get all vision out of the way, because that's pesky and unnecessary, a slight disclaimer: this is by far the most difficult blindfolded run in the Punch-Out series. Some of you may recall back in AGDQ 2014 when Zallard did this and finished the entire deal. That was nothing short of a miracle. There's been a lot of refined strats since then, a lot of updated ideas, and this is still going to be insanely difficult. So it is not going to be at all uncommon for both of these players to have to take losses and rematch some fights, because the general rule of this run is they can dumpster almost every boxer blindfolded as long as they are perfect. And the second they make one minor mistake, these fights can all go completely off the rails. So,
speaking from experience, it's pretty easy to make mistakes when you're playing blindfolded. So you may see that a time or two.
Yeah. So, in general, just be prepared for some very large amounts of improv and even having to just kind of throw in the towel and go back to start, because these are going to get rough. So, you two ready to go? All right. Give them a big round of applause while you can. So, both of them will be wearing noise-canceling headphones and such, so our commentary doesn't bother them. But if you can, try not to do any applause until both players have finished, because I know how hype y'all get, and if you get hype enough, we might actually throw them off the rails a little bit. So.
Yeah, they could miss a sound cue or something like that. Start getting punched. We don't want that.
We'll give you a big old signal to get up, stand up, and give these two a round of applause when all is said and done. So, all right. Whenever y'all are ready, we can get going.
So you guys count down.
All right.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
go.
All right. So, in general with Super Punch-Out, there's a lot of just the general Punch-Out mechanics still apply. You're going to see a lot of manipulating the guard by using up and down on the control pad. You're going to see a lot of what we call buffer techniques. Buffering is the term to basically chain a bunch of commands and actions together to get a specific timing out. So you'll see a lot of situations where one of the players might like whiff a jab when the boxer's dizzy, and then that will set up the timing to immediately throw one of the super punches to score a knockdown, things like that. Important mechanics that are not really talked about in the normal speedrun for this game. So Super Punch-Out has a unique mechanic in addition to the special meter, which is almost identical to arcade Punch-Out. The more punches you land, the special meter builds up. That gives you access to the rapid punches, the uppercut, and the super gut punch. But a secondary mechanic is that as the fight goes on and Little Mac both gives and receives damage, his portrait in the upper left will change color. Eventually it reaches a point where it's glowing red, and if you don't change the default options, this activates a power mode for Little Mac, where his punches are much faster, his dodges are much faster. But the problem with this in a blindfolded run, there's no sound cue for it. You have no idea when it's activated. So both players have actually changed that mechanic to a manual mode where they will have to hit X to activate that mode. 99% of the time, they don't want it. That increased speed messes with their buffer timing, it messes with their cues, so you're gonna see them avoiding that if they can.
And both of them have done a great job so far, taking care of the first 2 fights, using some of those buffer strats to great effect.
Yeah.
And you see the same thing here. Great job. with this fight so far.
Yeah, so Super Punch-Out is a lot different from any other entry in that there's a hidden status value in this game, which is the dizzy value. If you land enough punches or counter hits on a boxer in a short, constrained period of time, every boxer in the game can go into some form of a stunned animation where they groan, they wobble around the ring. There's all sorts of different creative animations for it. But the unique thing about these is anytime a boxer's in that stunned state, if you land a punch, sometimes it can be a regular punch, sometimes it has to be one of the super punches, it's an instant knockdown. And in Super Punch-Out, if you knock a boxer down, a vast majority of the boxers can be KO'd with a secondary knockdown within a short time frame afterwards. So you see both of them doing a buffer technique, whiffing a couple jabs, Bald Bull spins back around and eats the uppercut to the face, down he goes. So Bald Bull, one of the boxers that cannot be knocked out. You do have to TKO him to finish the fight. Both players kind of on even ground here, doing a nice job. The first circuit, the minor circuit, is I'm not going to call it trivial because nothing's trivial blindfolded. Like
now we can call it trivial.
Yeah.
Now that they're done.
Yes. Now it's trivial because Zallard and Hootey make things look trivial that are incredibly difficult. So every one of those fights you just saw is not all that different from if they were playing the game unblindfolded. Those are very similar techniques to what you would use in the any percent speed run. So great minor circuit for both of them right off the bat.
Yeah, they're pretty much tied up here.
Yeah.
But things are going to change, as you mentioned, as we go forward.
So now that we've kind of got the chumps out of the way, we'll start talking about some of the specifics. Bob Charlie is a nightmare. He's one of the most random boxers in the game. He can randomly dodge, he can randomly block, no matter what sort of guard manipulation and buffers you use. So both of them are going to have to be prepared to improv. There you see Zallard getting a dodge. He might get enough for the stun here. He does. That's very lucky. Should buffer in an uppercut. Very nice. Right now, Hootey also gets the stun. That's excellent. This is really good luck. Misses the buffer, though, on the super punch. Now that's going to throw things off for Hootey quite a bit. So see if he can recover here. Now he has to use a more conventional strat where he's going to have to knock out Bob Charlie with, dodges and typical counter punches here. And Zallard gets the knockout. That is not easy to do on Bob Charlie. That's a big, big win for Zallard right now. It's going to put him ahead for a while. So you see on Hootey's side, he's having to deal with a lot of the random dodges. There's nothing he can do about that. If Bob Charlie decides to do this, he's going to do that. Going into his windmill punch, nice. Counter. That's really big for Hootey.
That was important. Yeah, he really needed to get that. You don't want to fall too far behind. I mean, both of these guys are going to struggle in some of the fights. So even though Zallard appears to have a big lead right now, that could shift very quickly.
Yep. Dragon Chan is also incredibly random. This first phase is pretty guaranteed as long as they don't make any execution errors. But now, this is where Dragon Chan has a bunch of options. And what we don't want to see is him go into kicks. And, all right, he does the heel, which is exactly what Zallard wants.
Nice.
This should be a knockout on Dragon Chan. If he gets back-to-back knockouts on Dragon Chan and Bob Charlie blindfolded, that's a big, big deal. Yep.
That's it.
Very nice.
Nicely done.
So as we were talking about, he got a knockout. He got another knockout within 5 seconds. I can't remember. The timer varies from boxer to boxer, but you have a very small window. It usually has to be within 7 to 8 seconds for you to get that knockout to come in.
All right, let's see what kind of luck Hootey gets here in his second phase.
Yeah, good phase on Dragon Chan. We'll see what he offers up. Dragon Chan also goes for the heel.
Nice.
Very nice. And he does the buffer.
All
Perfect.
right.
This will be a knockout for Hootey, so that's a good catch-up. Zallard working on Mass Muscle. This is another boxer who cannot be KO'd. You have to TKO Mass Muscle at this point. So the first 2 phases of Mass Muscle are fairly straightforward. Again, as long as they don't make any execution errors, they kind of know what's coming. But this is the randomness. He's in this phase where now Mass Muscle has done his spit technique. So Matt cannot hit him. He can't do anything to him. He just has to wait it out. Zallard does wait it out, so he should be able to finish the job here. But again, this is what we're talking about. Now there's no knowledge of what's coming. And you notice right there, Mass Muscle did his hand wave into a jab. There's no sound cue for that. Zallard has to guess at this point because the fight is so far off the rails. And this is the challenge of this run compared to, say, blindfolded NES Punch-Out or blindfolded arcade Punch-Out. There just aren't near as many cues for you to work with.
And Hootey getting the quick knockdown, so he is actually
he's
probably in the lead at this point, I would say. He's in the lead because he's going to get a good refill here, and that's it.
Yep.
Zallard, meanwhile, going to have to get one more knockdown.
Yep. Zallard did take a knockdown there. That's not the end of the world. Should still be able to come back. See him still, I mean, trying to go some buffer techniques, again, gets spit on. There's nothing you can do about that. That's completely random when you get to this point. All the scriptedness goes away. On the other hand, with Hootey now in the lead, Mr. Sandman is the most consistent boxer in the entire game. His AI is completely easy to manipulate, very scripted. As long as there's no execution mistakes, he's going to do 3 straight knockdowns, get himself an easy win. All right, Zallard finally able to recover there. That should be a TKO. Very nice.
That's it. And he's feeling relieved now.
Yep.
That is a tough fight for given the luck that he got. It was pretty impressive that he still got through it.
Yeah, and the big thing with Super Punch-Out is there's such a lack of sound cues on a lot of things. Some boxers just do things. It's really hard is when you lose your special meter, you don't know when it comes back. Like the arcade Punch-Out, there's the ringing of the bell and the announcer telling you to knock him out. That doesn't exist in Super Punch-Out. When your special meter is full, it's just full, and you have to know it's available. So that completely alters what happens when they kind of get knocked out of their route and have to improv heavily. So, but Zallard not taking a loss on Mass Muscle was a really good recovery. He should be able to bounce back here, put Sandman down pretty easily. And then we're going to go on to the World Circuit. This is where it's going to start getting tricky. The first few boxes on World Circuit are not too bad. Aaron Ryan and Heikki Kagawa are pretty straightforward all in all. Again, I say pretty straightforward because all you have to do is just do your blindfolded route perfectly with no errors whatsoever, and everything's good, no problem, right? So you see Hootey, good start on Aaron Ryan, gets that dizzy animation, knocks him down. We're waiting for Zallard to transition out of the title for the major circuit into the World Circuit. Nice job on the buffer there for Hootey. There's another form of buffering, as we talked about. Does a double duck into a super gut punch to get that second knockdown, and then Aaron Ryan takes the jab or the gut punch block, and then buffers another super punch. So easy TKO for Hootey there. Another important thing to note about Punch-Out is that buffers can be a little bit more creative in this game because unlike say NES Punch-Out where things are a lot more static in terms of how many frames each thing does. For example, all 4 of your punches have completely different speeds in SPO. The left jab is the fastest, followed by the right jab, and then the left gut punch and the right gut punch are the next 2 in order, but all of them have different frames of startup, as well as the dodge is much more manipulatable in this game, whereas NES Punch-Out, as Sinister well knows, you basically have your dodge and your quick dodge as your 2 major mechanics. In Super Punch-Out, you can hold the dodge for an obscene amount of time or let go basically at any point for a very wide window, and that actually makes dodge buffers a lot more difficult in SPO because if you happen to hold that dodge for a frame too long, you might completely throw off your buffer timing. So,
all right, another great fight by Hootey there.
Yeah.
Zallard took care of Aaron Ryan pretty quickly.
Yeah, and now we get into where things are going to get really messy. Mad Clown is very, very random, a completely obnoxious fight, both blindfolded and not. So this will be where both players are going to have to show just how much time and energy they've put into preparing for any situation. Right now, Hootey's showing some good buffers to beat counters. Nice job countering the backhand. He does get the dizzy. That's an excellent start. Really excellent start.
Good buffer. Zallard able to finish off Heikki Kagawa.
Yep.
So he's keeping pace.
Yep. So Hootey's opting for a strat, looks like, where he forces the taunt animation from Mad Clown. And then gets blocked. Okay, so it looks like Hootey is a little bit off track here. Does dodge the follow-up, though. That's a scripted follow-up. When Mad Clown does the face noogie, he always throws you to the side and then looks for a haymaker like that. So good duck dodge there. Hootey down on that last knockdown. Nice counter punch. Very good. That's excellent. Sub-30 Mad Clown blindfolded, especially once you're off the script, is really, really good. Zallard also getting the early dizzy, so you see Zallard has a chance to make up a little bit of time here if Mad Clown wants to be a little bit more cooperative. But now we're into real danger territory. Super Macho Man is, according to both of these players, the hardest blindfolded fight. So much can go wrong. Super Macho Man is a notorious killer of runs when they're not blindfolded. Because of this, the sways, the jump around, that completely throws off mechanics. Nice dodge to spin punch.
And Zallard catching up a little bit of time there. An excellent Mad Clown fight.
Yeah. So Hootey is going to have to show us what he knows here. Macho Man did not cooperate to start that fight whatsoever. So now he's going to be using a lot of sound cues. So his exercise program. This is the real problem. Exercise program has 3 possible actions, A, B, and C. A is jabs, B is gut punches, and C is multiple uppercuts. The problem is the initial sound cue on that is basically identical. So the best they can do is take a wild guess at what one is coming. And you see right there, Hootey had to try and do his best, ends up getting the jab combo and takes a knockdown.
And Zallard is going to be in the lead now because he got a very fast knockdown on Super Macho Man.
Is he going to get a knockout?
Is he going to get, not
really
quite.
Close. All right. Zallard with some good RNG there.
Second knockdown, yeah. He's
exercise
in good shape.
Yeah, exercise program C is the one with a different sound cue, so Zallard knew to get out of the way of the uppercuts, so that was beneficial. All right, dodges the spin punch, very nice. And Hootey takes second knockdown. Again, those two
exercise programs are killer.
Yep. And there's our first loss. Like we said, this is something to expect in this run. When things go awry, you're going to have a problem.
But Zallard is about to go into the hardest stretch, so he's going to be facing the toughest fights. This could easily happen to him, and Hootey will be right back in it.
Yeah,
he's going to have to rematch Macho and hopefully get better luck this time.
Yeah, so Macho, again, according to both these players, are the most difficult blindfolded fight just because of his sheer randomness. But the special circuit is where we get into every fight is incredibly difficult, and the execution requirements ramp up drastically. We'll talk about some of those when we get a little bit closer. Narcissus is one of the most infamous fighters in any punch-out game. His randomness, his different patterns are a huge pain for an any percent run. Oddly enough, he's actually not terrible in a blindfolded run because the whole goal is just to get a situation where you can get him into his angry phase here. Narcissus is, narcissistic, and he doesn't like it when he punches little pretty face. So he goes into a much more easy-to-handle mode once you've punched him once in the face. So you saw Zallard basically took a hit to set up a guaranteed counterpunch opportunity and get Narcissus into that I'm mad mode. So
meanwhile, Hootey had an excellent Super Macho Man rematch, so he is on his way to fight Narcissus as well.
Yeah, that's a big recovery there. If Hootey would have had another run of bad luck where he is into a minute or 2 minute long fight, that would have maybe been too much to recover from. So still very much anybody's race right now, given how dangerous the special circuit is. But right now, Zallard having a pretty good Narcissus fight. You just really have to you have to be prepared for anything. Narcissus has the most patterns in the game in terms of what he can do and when he can do it. So, all right, gonna block the jab combo, gets the stun, very nice. And Narcissus should go down pretty quickly here. Yep, the rapid punch gets it done, very nice. Hootey following up same strat, takes that first gut punch to set up a counter. And counter punches in SPO are incredibly powerful. They give a stun animation that's not the same kind of stun animation where you have the opportunity to throw a bunch of rapid punches afterwards to stack up damage, but it's a type of stun where they stop completely. It raises that hidden dizzy meter a lot, so you have a better chance of getting dizzies, and just gives opportunities to set up really powerful counter punches going forward. Now, Zallard's in the real fun. Hoy can be done very easily blindfolded, except when he decides to not cooperate. And I didn't even get to a chance to talk about this. They've both had a strat developed that is basically, they said, about 96% consistent. So break out your this has never happened before, because Hoy has gone for the 4% here.
That was a nice counter.
Yeah.
Should be pointed out, though, that Hootey got a KO on Narcissus, so he caught up quite a bit.
Yeah, no, this is very even now. And again, if Hootey gets this, it gets Hoy to cooperate here. Yes, he got the dizzy. So if Hoy does not do an unscripted dodge here on the second phase, he could actually get a knockout and be ahead by the end of this fight.
Which is crazy because he's probably thinking he's behind. He lost that fight to Macho, and he was deep in the fight, too.
All right.
So he's probably thinking he's way behind, but little does he know.
Yeah. Hoy did do one dodge there. He might get back up. He does. Okay, so Hootey is going to have to finish the job here. All right, gets the shove. The shove is the worst thing you can have from Hoy because it, one, puts you in that big stun animation. The dizzy meter, which isn't a big deal now because he's looking for the TKO, not a knockout, the dizzy meter constantly lowers. You can't see it. There's not a meter for it on screen. But when that shove happens, that means all the dizzy you've built up just goes away. So
Hootey indeed taking the lead.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to the last 2 fights. This is a heck of a race so far.
Yeah.
2 tough ones.
Yeah. Rick also, he cannot be knocked out, but you have to TKO him. But he is another fairly consistent blindfolded fight. As long as they hold steady in their routing, they're going to do pretty good. Gets the early dizzy. Very nice. Very nice from Hootey there. So we're going to see if Zallard can follow up with the same script here. Looking good so far. Hootey gets the counter punch. Very nice. And again, Rick can't be knocked out. On almost any other boxer, that's a knockout. That was a second knockdown within about 3 seconds on the timer, which is a big deal. But Rick scripted to only be TKO'd, and there it is. That's an excellent fight. So now we go into the true test. Looks like Zallard's on good pace.
Final fight.
So Nick is, how y'all feel about coin flips? How do y'all feel about coin flips with 1 frame inputs to get it right?
Oh,
because that is what we're going to do here, blindfolded. Nick is really scary. You can knock him out. You can KO Nick, but you have to, 1, hit a guess here, and Hootey does not get it. It is random which punch Nick will throw there. He'll throw a right jab or a right body blow. You have basically 1 frame to get that counter properly and get the proper stun. And, well, he has no eyesight, so good luck doing that right now. So
it's going to be up to Zallard. If he can hit that, he could actually potentially take the lead.
Yeah, and he gets it.
And he does.
This is, yeah.
Wow.
So the tables have turned drastically here. Zallard gets the stun. If he gets the good RNG on this wake up, Zallard is going to take this race right here and now because Hootey's going to have to brawl now. He's going to have to get 3 full TKO. He's not going to be able to dizzy Nick because he's in a bad shape. You see he got the mechanic where he gets stunned, and Zallard might get the stun here. Oh, it's just 1 punch short. That's probably not going to be enough for a knockout. That was a little bit too much time, but Zallard's
in great shape.
Yeah, Zallard's in excellent shape. Hootey takes the knockdown from the headbutt. That has almost no audio cue, so that's really hard to deal with. So let's see if Zallard can finish the job here.
And remember to hold your applause.
Yes.
We're going to wait till both players finish, and there it is. Zallard finishing it off, taking the win. Great fight, great finish.
He's going to take off his headphones here, and there it is. So we'll see if Hootey can recover here, finish the job on Nick Bruiser.
Yeah, Hootey is in tough shape here.
Yeah, this is the worst fight in the game to not get the. And again, it's not like, oh, you messed up an easy blindfolded route. You're talking about a coin flip early punch that you have basically 1 frame to properly counter. And unfortunately for Hootey, Nick threw the body blow at him, whereas Zallard got the jab, guessed right, and was able to finish the job. So awesome work from Zallard here. And Hootey's had an amazing run too. It just came down to that very last fight. RNG's not got his way, but he's got the knockdown here. Let's see if he can finish off. An important thing to note, the timer is at 141. You cannot win by decision in Super Punch-Out. It does not exist. If that timer gets to 3 minutes, you take a loss.
And not only that, but because Hootey did not have full health, the refills for his opponent are bigger. So he's having to take his health bar all the way down.
Yeah. You see, trying to hit with the super punch, but unfortunately those things can be dodged by Nick at any time. He is scripted to do that, so Hootey's going to take the TKO here and hopefully get a little bit better start to the fight. But once Nick gets out of sync, it's incredibly difficult. I was watching Zallard practice this fight yesterday, and every time I saw him kind of miss that early counter, it was a long, drawn-out fight with a lot of guessing and a lot of just, you kind of have to flail. There's just not enough audio cues or other things to work with. This time, Hootey gets the jab counter, gets the stun. All right, now we're in good shape.
And there's the knockdown.
Yep.
All right.
Very nice.
Looking good.
So yeah, you saw a long buffer chain there, whiffing 2 jabs and whiffing an entire super punch to set up the proper timing for the second one to hit. Let's see if he can get some good stun here. Again, had to guess on that, doesn't get it, but that early knockout sets him in really good shape to finish the job here. All right, gets the super punches. All right.
And he'll be able to refill his health here, so it's not going to be too massive of a refill.
No, Nick should come back with very minimal health here. All right, let's see if Hootey can finish this off. Pretty good shape here. Nice dodge, goes in the super punches. One more flurry's going to do it. The headbutt, okay. That's a little rough. Again, that's just one of those things. Hootey was going for a buffer strat there, hoping the headbutt was not coming, but once he committed, there was nothing he could do. He's not going to be able to dodge that, but we're on the magic pixel here. Finishes the job. Let the TKO come.
There it is.
And there it is.
Give it up.
Give it up.
Great job by both of these runners. As we mentioned, this game is nearly impossible to be blindfolded. They both completed it.
Yeah, stand up.
An emotional
Give these guys
finish.
a round of applause. This is unbelievably difficult, and they both make it look really trivial at the end of the day. So
yeah, you guys got to see an excellent race, a lot of back and forth. Came down to the final fight and some coin flips, like you said.
yeah, no, absolutely. So awesome job by both these players. If you ever want to challenge yourself, well, just grab your closest blindfold and hit some one-frame counters. No big deal every day, right? So. Thanks to both these guys. They've worked really hard on this run. I've been kind of keeping up with both their practice and their streams, and this is a terrifying run. Both of them were over there being like, we're really nervous, and it's just said, no, you're gonna be fine. Do your thing. You guys always do well, and they did. So give them one more round of applause, everybody.
That was incredible. Amazing work to both our racers. I know if I tried that, then I would be the second win to Gabby J.